Well, hey, welcome to the Savvy Musician Show. I have a very special guest with us today. His name is Daniel Santara. I'm so thrilled to have you here today. You're a student of Savvy Musician Academy and an amazing musician. And the reason I'm so excited is because I really focus on teaching the online digital marketing aspect of promoting our music and building a fan base online. But you've done something really different. You have taken what we've taught and applied it in offline setting and applied it into the live show world and the different events that you do. And I can't wait to just talk about exactly what you've done. And it's also really fun because you and I actually have some things in common in that you're a homeschooler. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, I've got twins, 8-year-old and 9-year-old twins.
That's awesome. And you've been traveling the world with your family, in which I don't know if you knew this, but recently my family and I have been doing that. Actually, I think you did know that because you commented on a post that I had made on Facebook. So I feel like we're kind of, kindred spirits in a way. So this is just really going to be fun.
I was upset that I missed you in every country by about a month, and I was really upset about that.
Oh man, that's so funny that we were just like so traveling in the same areas. So this is just cool. So tell me, just give us a little picture of who you are, what your background is with your music career, and why you decided to start traveling, and where did Savvy Musician Academy play a role in all of that? So let's just start at the beginning. So tell us a bit about who you are.
So I'm what's called a sound healer or a sound journey. So my genre is new age sound journey, or you could say improvised world music is another way of putting it. I'm still nutting down my, micro niche, but my career was in IT and I just didn't want to do IT anymore. And I just started to do these events where I got people together and created like a soundscape using different instruments in my voice. And in the early days, people started to find it relaxing and it was calming for them and helped them and that sort of thing. So I just kept going. Maybe about 3 to 4 years ago, I was just doing it sort of part-time, and then I was Uber driving and cleaning houses and doing anything just to keep my dream alive. And then I just made a decision one day when I was actually cleaning a toilet at someone's house, right? I was just like, I burst into tears and I was like, I just can't do anything like this anymore. I need to make my music work. And I made a decision I was going to do 100 events in a year to get things going. So I did that. And then, things started to pick up, and then I saw you come up in my news feed, and I remember seeing you, and then I thought, yeah, right. And then I saw you again. I thought, I'll watch the webinar, and you blew me away. But when I saw your webinar, I was in the season, as you talk about, I was in the season of touring. I was in the season of events because I love doing events. So I thought, I started to build up my likes by using your method from the online musician. But then I thought, what if I go for event responses rather than likes? So I used exactly the same technique that you teach to get likes, to get event responses on Facebook events. And then started using Eventbrite, integrated with Facebook to sell tickets. And that just supercharged my events. And I went from, having 10 to 20 people at an event to having, 100, 110 people at my events virtually within a few months of getting your information. And then, started to build a tour in Australia. And, we went on the road. We sold all of our possessions, gave everything away, and we bought a four-wheel drive, and we just thought, we're just going to travel around with this and go event to event. And we started that in September 2016. And the Australian tour went so well that we saved enough money to then do an 8.5-month world tour that we just got back from. So that's in a nutshell what has happened. And I couldn't have done it without you. You're like my hero. I couldn't have done it without you,
Oh my gosh. You're going to make me cry. That's incredible. That is seriously incredible that you've been able to do that. And what I hear coming from you is like a sheer determination and just a will to make it work no matter what. I mean, and that for me, I hit that same point where I was like, what do I need to do to make it work? And it's like a switch flipped in you when you were cleaning that toilet.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Looking in hindsight,
You know, there was a few defining moments, and I remember one of them was way before that when I was considering going back into my IT job. I could have earned $100 an hour in Sydney doing IT, and I chose not to go into computer, into the office again. And we lived on nothing, even welfare for a while, just to keep this dream alive. That was early on. And then, I just remember that day I was cleaning houses, and I hate cleaning. So I was cleaning that toilet, and I burst into tears, and I was just like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to make this work. And I remember hearing your story about when you guys were struggling financially, and you were like, what are we going to do? And then you just really, something awoke inside you about, getting your music and going, and you made that successful. And when I heard that, I just related to it so much because I'd had that experience of, being there. And people say to me sometimes, they say, oh, you're so lucky. You're so so lucky to do what you're doing. And I'm like, this is like breathing. I either do this or I die. There's no choice. It's like breathing. If that becomes how it is for you, then there's no stopping it, right?
Yeah, that is exactly it. And it is like breathing. When you feel like you could do what you do in a coma, and you like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing. Absolutely. So what did it take? Because you came from like a background of where you couldn't imagine that you'd be doing what you're doing now. What advice would you give to people who feel like they're in the same position where they're just like, I can't imagine my life right now with like the stress I have and like the bills that I have and, the lack of funds and the different things going on, like making music a full-time career? What would you say to those people?
Well, I'd say do whatever it takes to keep your dream alive. I purposely, we just lived a very basic life for a long time where, we weren't eating out. We weren't doing anything like that. We were eating basic. We had a inexpensive rent. So keep your costs down. Don't go buying really expensive things. The most important thing is that you keep your dream alive. And, in most Western countries like America, Canada, and Australia, you can make ends meet fairly easily by running a few part-time jobs while you make music your full-time job. So, in those early days before my events took off, I was driving Uber and I was cleaning houses, and I was even, working in carpentry, doing stuff that I'd, never done before, but just doing things to keep my dream alive. So I always just say, do whatever it takes to keep your dream alive and just have a good attitude about it. I'm 43 and I have made a life out of music, and that brings me so much joy. And if I can do it at 43, and it wouldn't even matter if I was 53, to be honest, if I can do that, then you can too. I always dreamed of this since I was a kid, and especially in my 20s, stuck in a dead-end job. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but it was still there burning inside of me. And it eventually arrived, and it arrived largely because of the information that you put together for us. That's a huge part of it. So that's what I'd say. Get stuck into Leah's trainings. That's a good advice, amazing. I'd say. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. That's so encouraging, because I feel like a lot of people, like, they might hear me say it, but they're like, oh yeah, well, you're already successful. So, it's different when there's other people who have had the same experiences and from totally different angles, different ages, different walks in life, being able to do it too. And it looks different, but it's success for them. And, so your success looks different than mine. And I think that's really important. And it's really special the way you've been able to take some of the things that we teach and just transform and make it work for what your purpose is and for what your goal is. And I think that's genius. You did amazing. Can you walk me through a little bit what one of your live events looks like? What is special about your live event that you're selling these tickets and like selling out and doing them, so many of them?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to share that I'm doing an Australian tour at the moment, and my events, some of them are selling out 3 weeks early or 2 weeks early. So it's
fantastic.
This is a culmination of many, of a lot of time doing this now. So, I'll share a little bit start to finish. I want to really give everyone some real specifics on what I do so you can apply this. I'll start with the marketing. The way that I market my events is I create a Facebook event, easy to do. I create an Eventbrite event and I link the Eventbrite to Facebook. And I would say don't even think about using any other ticketing platform than Eventbrite because it's the best. Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's the best, and it integrates with Facebook beautifully so that people can buy tickets straight off the event. You know, people don't have a very high attention span these days. So if they can get a ticket straight on the Facebook event, they're just going to go bang, they're going to grab it, and they don't have to worry too much about it, right? So that's number one. In terms of advertising it, I use a video, and what I want to say is I use a video. That video causes a reaction, okay? So people see the video that I use to promote my events, and it causes a reaction. And that reaction can be chills, it can be tears, or it can be, what the hell, who the hell is this bald man with a crystal singing bowl? That's just weird, you know.
I love it. I love
it. But it causes a reaction. And if you can cause a reaction in people with a video, you will sell out your events because they want to come and have that live experience that you've given them a taste of with the video. So that's how I do it. And you know, it worked in Australia because I've been doing it so long here and I have a following and I'm known. But then I thought, how's it going to work when I go overseas, right? So, you know, we took a risk and we went over to Asia and we went to Europe, and it worked there too. Okay, so I sold out my events in Ireland, I sold out my events in England, and it was all done through Facebook ads. And I'd ask people when they walk in, how did you find out about this event? I saw it was all over Facebook. I saw it on Facebook, you know. So this is the power. So that's the marketing side of it. And in terms of my events, you know, what I do is something called a sound journey. So to give you a picture of that, I had an event last night. So it was me and my sound healing partner, Joshua. He's a didgeridoo player, you know, or Yidaki is the real name for that, didgeridoo. I have things like crystal singing bowls. I have shamanic drums. I have Native American flutes, and I have a very unique form of singing and chanting. Harmonic singing, overtone singing, it's kind of very world music-like. So what people do is they come to my event and they lie down. They lie down on the ground on a mat, and, you know, we take them on an improvised journey, and it's like a very deep meditation. So people have this tangible experience of relaxation, of clearing out negativity. You know, sound is so powerful. We know how powerful music is, but this is like a real, you know, deep experience of that. So people inevitably have an experience, you know, creating an experience for them. And then they come out of it feeling great. And then they naturally want to buy music then. They naturally want to buy CDs. They naturally want to, you know, I offer a full day workshop in vocal liberation, like liberating people's voices. So then, you know, you talk about multiple streams of income. So that really applies live as well, because you've got your event and then you've got your merch at the event, and then people that had such a great experience that they just want to support you and they want to get some music, but then they want more, and they will then, you know, sign up for your full day event, which is a higher ticket, or a retreat, you know, some sort of retreat. You know, that's how it really works for me from start to finish. And it's been just a revelation. And like I might do a sound journey, my show on the Friday night, and then my weekend workshop, my day workshops on the Sunday. So then for that weekend, I've got the Friday and then the full day workshop on the Sunday. To tour that has just been incredibly sustainable. It allowed my family and I to cover everything traveling around the world. And you know how expensive it is to travel around the world with your family, right?
Wow. Yes, I do know all about that. This is crazy amazing. I mean, I literally get goosebumps the entire time you're talking because you're nailing it. Like, you are nailing it. You are like, you know, I feel like you're like, you know, our poster child of exactly what you need to be doing for anybody to be doing to like succeed in today's music industry. I mean, you're being very creative with what you learned and then applied it in different ways, because the thing is that the principles work, right? So no matter, you know, what it is you're doing, the principles apply. And so you can then have creative freedom to make it work for you depending on your goal. I'm really curious, if we go back to the marketing for a second.
Sure.
So you're putting up, you're making a Facebook event, you're linking it to Eventbrite.
Yep.
Now, it doesn't stop there. Then you're running an ad to that Facebook event, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I have the video I was talking about, which is the video that causes a reaction in people. So I take that video and I create an ad, and that is an ad for engagement, but you're not getting engagement page likes, you're getting engagement event responses. Okay. So you're going for event responses. And what I usually do is I start about 7 or 6 weeks out from my event, and I start running that ad, and I run it like $5 a day, something like that. So say I know that my gross takings from an event are going to be, say, $3,000. Okay. I will say my budget for advertising is about 8% of that. So I'll budget, around $250. But normally it only takes about $110 at the moment, $110 to sell out a $3,000 event. That's a pretty good return on investment.
That's a fantastic, what we call ROAS. Yeah. Return on ad spend. That's phenomenal. It's like kind of unheard of, actually.
Yeah. I mean, with this video and the way I do, it's costing me around 50 Australian cents, which is about 38 American cents per event response. Over time, over that 6 to 7 weeks, running that ad $5 a day, on the Facebook event, the going and the interested, because people say they're going or they say they're interested, that starts to snowball, and people start sharing. And then what I do is on the event page, I share videos of past events. So I video everything I do.
Smart.
And everything that I do is spontaneous. So all of my live events are different. So everything that I video is different. So I just post and I took a lot of videos overseas. Like I've got a video of me playing a crystal bowl and chanting at Angkor Wat in Cambodia. I've got something in this amazing place in Portugal. So collecting these videos that additional videos that cause a reaction, and then placing them on the event page leading up to the event, and people just share it and they get engaged. And by the time the event comes, you've got 6 or 7 with these events at the moment. I've got in Australia 600 or 700 people interested, 90 to 100 going. The events I'm running at the moment are 100 to 120 people paying 40 Australian dollars for the event, which for a musician to make $3,000 from one live event, that's 2 hours. I'm not bragging, I'm just trying to inspire by saying that's what you can do. And then you have the upsell to the full day event where you can make the same again. And then suddenly you've got a $5,000, $6,000 weekend just out of 2 events, right? That's pretty cool for a musician to be able to do that, I think.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And to go from cleaning toilets and houses to, how many events a month are you doing of these? Were you doing them every weekend?
Yeah. I mean, I love it.
So the potential, the potential is, $15,000 to $20,000 a month potential or more?
Yeah, for this tour, 25 to 30 from 5 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. That's insane. I mean, that's really amazing. Really amazing. So for that tour, I don't know, as comfortable as you are, do you mind sharing any revenue numbers from this strategy from the tour?
Yeah, I don't know the fully exact figures in this moment, but from this Australian tour that I'm doing at the moment, that sort of really started last weekend and finishes around December 13. If everything sells out, which 70% of the events are either sold out or just tracking to sell out 2 weeks early. And if I sell out my voice liberation workshops, so it all depends on whether they sell out, but they're looking like they're going to, right? Then it's around 25 to 30, around, let's just say conservatively 25,000 for the 5 weeks.
That's great. Really, really great. And then, I can imagine as you tour around the world and you're filling up these events, the potential is really unlimited there.
Yeah, and we were working it out as we went along. When I went on my European tour, we weren't profitable in the beginning. I went to Portugal and I lost money, and I went to Italy and I lost money because I made some mistakes and I didn't have enough events and I wasn't doing this day workshop. And then when we did the UK, I broke even. And then when we did Ireland, I made a profit because I was learning. You don't know unless you go, right? It's like a reconnaissance mission. You're like, I'm just going to trust it's all going to work out. I'm going to take my family overseas and do this thing. we'll just work it out as we go along. It's scary as hell, but it's so worth it.
So, hey, tell me, what was the difference between breaking even and being profitable? What was the one thing that you tweaked? Was it the location? Was it the country? Or was it something you changed?
No, it was adding the day workshop, so the upsell. So by adding that extra stream, that's what did it. I mean, look, touring internationally with a family, when you got car hire, you've got some accommodation, you're going to eat out a lot because it's really hard to cook when you're on the road. You know, fortunately, a lot of the places we went, we stayed with people. Like through my community and through my genre, found places for us to stay with lovely people. And that's nicer than staying in hotels because then you're sharing with lovely people and having great experiences and making new friends. But even when you've got the combination costs covered, it still costs, you know, a lot of money to tour with a family. You know, it's one thing to tour on your own, right? But then to take the family, that's like, that's full on. So, you know, there's a lot of expenses overseas. In Australia, it's easier for me because I have a vehicle and I have places I can stay everywhere and we can cook everywhere and all that sort of thing. So being profitable in Australia is just, you know, I've been profitable in Australia for about 3 years, but then to take it overseas, this is to make it profitable in another country with your family. You know, this is another level, but
that's a like 10x level. I mean, there's musicians hearing this right now that would kill to be in your position right now that you figured that out. That's crazy and amazing.
You can do it, you know. Yes, look, it was intense. You know, I know, you know, traveling with your kids, I mean, my kids are amazing and yours are too, but it's still intense, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you grow.
Oh, yeah, you're just, you know, you're in each other's faces all the time.
Totally. Yeah, and you grow like crazy. Do you feel now that you've come back from that trip that you're like a totally different person?
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation that forces you to bond. And I say forces you because there is no other out. Like, you don't have a choice. It's like, get along and learn to love each other and have fun. And like, it's intense for sure. Intense, but I would never regret it. Like, I do not regret it. So
yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh no, I'm just looking forward to doing it again. So, and I feel like it's now the fear factor is gone. Now I know what to expect for like the next time. So, yeah.
Oh, they've just hit the nail on the head. You know, that's it. It's like I was saying before, it's like a reconnaissance mission. You're like, you know, you're just working it out. And then once you've done it, it's like, all right, bring it on, you know, let's do it again.
Yes.
This episode was sponsored by the Superfan System Elite program here at Savvy Musician Academy. If you are looking to scale your existing music business and you're looking to get into advanced digital marketing, such as email marketing, funnels, e-commerce, Facebook ads, and more, and you're looking to build a real profitable online music business, book a call with our team at www.callsma.com. We would love to speak with you for about 30 minutes and see how we can help you. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more episodes, and we'll see you next time.